I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
Hollywood is buzzing with a legal showdown that has everyone talking. Rumors are swirling and insiders are whispering about a dramatic twist that has set the stage on fire. It is being suggested that a 90-minute courtroom hearing turned the tide in one of the most chaotic legal battles we have seen in recent memory. There is evidence starting to point to a twist that has left insiders stunned and questioning everything. It appears that Blake Lively initiated a high-stakes lawsuit for $250 million alleging serious misconduct in a move that rocked the scene. And then a massive counterattack emerged as her opponent fired back with a $400 million countersuit citing extortion and defamation. The courtroom became a battleground after months of heated media exchanges and public clamor. I have it on good authority that this legal clash has taken Hollywood by storm, and the outcome is shaping up to be monumental. Sources close to the matter are saying that every detail is being scrutinized and no move goes unnoticed. According to an expert familiar with the case, the tension in the courtroom is unlike anything witnessed in recent Hollywood legal battles. Speculation is rampant, and every twist is adding fuel to an already blazing fire in the industry. This saga has become a rallying point for those who keep a close eye on Hollywood drama and legal warfare. Observers say that this showdown is turning into a landmark moment that could redefine power dynamics behind the scenes. I have it on good authority that the repercussions of this battle will be felt across the industry, and the narrative is far from over. Justin's aggressive legal strategy is shaking up the courtroom. The tension is thick, and every eye is glued to the unfolding drama. Brian Fredman stormed in like a force of nature, ready for war from the very start. Every step he took spoke volumes about his intent to dominate the scene. Insiders close to the case are saying his entrance immediately put Blake's legal team on the defensive. There is a buzz that his arrival left no room for doubt in the minds of those watching. It was a bold move that sent shockwaves throughout the entire courtroom. The stakes were raised instantly, and the battle was set in motion. Then things got even more interesting in unexpected ways. Blake's lawyers tried to muzzle Fredman with a gag order, alleging he was spilling damaging details about Lively. But the judge shut that down with authority, pointing out that Blake's own team had been loud in the media too. This twist marked a significant win for Baldoni and shifted the momentum in a big way. Legal experts are saying every tactic is now under a microscope. They're dissecting every move as part of a larger game of strategy and power. The aggressive approach is building a narrative that is both unpredictable and thrilling. It makes you wonder what the next move might be in this high-stakes clash. The entire industry is on edge as every twist and turn is scrutinized. Every detail is captured and analyzed by insiders and eager fans alike.
Now you see text messages in this lawsuit from Blake Lively comparing herself to the heroine of Game of Thrones, the fiercest female character we've seen in years.
The stakes are sky high, and every move appears meticulously calculated. The drama is only getting more intense as the legal battle rages on. This showdown has become a headline grabber and a subject of fierce debate. There is a growing sense of anticipation that builds with every courtroom session. Observers imply that the tactics used here could set new precedents in the entertainment world. It feels as if the entire Hollywood machine is watching to see who will come out on top. Some are even speculating that the maneuvers in this case will influence future legal battles. There is a whisper that this fight could change the playbook for high-stakes disputes. The courtroom drama has evolved into a war of strategy and counter-tactics. Every twist fuels the fire of speculation and leaves us all wanting more. This legal clash is not just about the dollars or the defamation claims. It is about power moves and the art of the courtroom battle. Each move is calculated, and every reaction is measured with precision. The ongoing war of words and strategy proves that nothing in Hollywood is ever simple. Blake Lively's legal team faces setback after setback. They argued that Fredman's constant media presence made it nearly impossible for them to mount an effective counter. They claimed that every word from Fredman disrupted their strategy and made it hard to keep up with his claims. The pressure was mounting on their side, As they struggled to regain control, they felt overwhelmed by the barrage of public statements and the relentless media coverage. Insiders are saying that the mounting pressure has left them scrambling for a solid plan. Every statement from Fredman was a blow to their carefully constructed narrative. They believed that each move was scrutinized and turned against them. Their frustration was visible to those who follow the case closely. It was a series of setbacks that kept piling up one after the other. The legal team was on the back foot and searching desperately for answers. It was clear that the scales were slowly tipping in favor of their opponent, yet the judge stepped in and once again sided with Justin. He allowed him to continue speaking publicly about the case and defending his narrative without restraint. This decision was seen as a clear win for Baldoni, and it set the tone for the rest of the proceedings. It sent a powerful message that his voice would not be silenced in the heat of the battle. Courtroom observers say this ruling was a turning point that shifted the balance of power. It was a strong signal that the judge would not bow to media pressure or external influence. The decision empowered Baldoni and shook up the legal balance in a big way. It was a moment that boosted his momentum and left his opponents reeling. The ruling left Blake Lively's team questioning every next move. It underscored the court is willing to stand by fair play over secrecy. Every insider is now watching intently to see how this decision will affect the overall case. It is a pivotal moment that seems to favor bold moves over silent retreats. Things escalated when Baldoni launched a website solely dedicated to the case. He uploaded video footage, legal documents, and messages backing his claims for all to see. This move added a whole new level of intensity to the courtroom drama unfolding before our eyes.
Will not be in Taylor Swift's suite because their friendship is in a, I don't even know if it's right to call it a friendship anymore.
You could call it kaput.
Yeah.
At least from one side.
Yeah, what's interesting about this is that Blake is at least making it seem like they're good. And as we broke the story yesterday,
it opened the door for the public to see evidence that was once hidden behind closed doors. The online presence turned the case into a digital battleground where every detail mattered. Fans and critics alike flocked to the website in search of new insights and proof. It was a strategic move that leveraged the power of the internet in a way that few expected. The case suddenly became a public spectacle that no one could ignore. Observers say this move is changing the narrative in a dramatic and unexpected way. It has allowed supporters to rally behind Baldoni armed with fresh evidence. This online initiative has raised the stakes to levels that have never been seen before. It left Blake Lively's team scrambling to mount a digital counterattack. Blake Lively's lawyers furiously objected to this bold move on several fronts. They said it was unethical and could sway public opinion in a biased and unfair way. Their objections only fueled the fire of the dispute and added more heat to the conflict. It was a dramatic twist that put even more pressure on their already strained case. They argued that the release of such materials could distort the facts beyond repair. Critics say that this objection might be more about controlling the narrative than actual legal merit. Their concerns were raised in a flurry of urgent legal motions and heated exchanges. Every objection was met with strong rebuttals from Baldoni's camp without hesitation. The clash over media strategy became a focal point of the entire proceeding. It showcased the deep divisions in courtroom tactics and public relations warfare. Each side seemed determined to win the battle for control over the narrative. The intensity of the objections only added fuel to the blazing fire of controversy. But Fredman quickly hit back with a counter that left little room for doubt. He reminded the court that Blake was the first to go to the New York Times, giving Justin only 12 hours to respond before a damaging expose hit the press. This pointed counter shifted the focus back to the tactics used by Blake Lively's team. It underlined the notion that if one side could control the narrative, then the other had every right to fight back. Fredman laid out the timeline in clear detail to highlight the double standard at play. It was a reminder that aggressive media tactics were not a one-sided affair in this battle. The rebuttal was sharp and left no room for misinterpretation in the eyes of the court. He argued that the press plays its own game, and no one should be allowed to manipulate it unfairly. The courtroom buzzed with the intensity of this exchange, as every detail was noted. Every nuance was dissected by those who follow the case with a keen eye. It was clear that this counter was a strategic masterstroke that shifted the momentum. The narrative battle had just taken a dramatic turn that favored Baldoni even more. Once again, the judge sided with Baldoni in a decision that resonated across the courtroom. He ruled that if Blake could use the press to shape the narrative, then Justin had every right to counter it without fear. This ruling further cemented Baldoni's position in the case. As he fought back with vigor, it left the courtroom and the industry reeling with questions about what would happen next. Observers noted that the ruling reaffirmed the right to a public defense in this ongoing battle. It sent a clear message that the court values transparency and fairness over secrecy and control. The decision has now become a landmark moment in this legal saga that continues to unfold. Every move from here on out is being watched with heightened anticipation and care. It is a move that underscores the importance of narrative control in high-stakes battles. The ruling has shifted the dynamics and placed even more pressure on Blake Lively's team. It has left the legal landscape in a state of constant flux as the story develops.
I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaint, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint. Not under the influence of drugs, not under the influence of alcohol, but of the influence of proximity.
Every insider is left wondering how the battle will evolve from this point onward. Blake made a bold move to steer the narrative in her favor. Her lawyers requested that she be allowed to choose who questions her during her deposition. It was a desperate last-ditch attempt to maintain control of the story. They believed that by picking her questioners, she could dodge the tough questions that might trip her up. It felt like a high-risk gamble that they hoped would work in her favor. The court did not grant that request. Blake was forced to face any court-assigned attorney, including Fredman. This ruling left her with no choice but to answer every query that came her way. It was a clear blow that stripped away any chance of controlling the narrative. The judge made it clear that no one would be allowed to pick and choose their own questions. Her legal team immediately fell into panic mode. They feared that Fredman would pick apart every inconsistency in her statements. There was a sense of dread as they realized the damage that could be done. Every member of her team scrambled to save face in the face of this setback. They watched helplessly as their strategy crumbled under the pressure. The atmosphere in the courtroom grew even more charged. Insiders noted that Blake was caught completely off guard by this decision. It underscored how unpredictable and fierce this battle has become. Every moment now feels like a turning point in this high-stakes showdown. Tension filled the air, and every eye was glued to the unfolding drama. This twist added a whole new layer of drama to the proceedings. Legal experts implied that no one was expecting such a bold move to be shut down so decisively. It forced Blake's team to rethink their entire strategy on the fly. Every second in the deposition now carries the weight of potential pitfalls. They now face a situation where every misstep could expose damaging details. Fredman stands ready to exploit every single inconsistency. He is known for his relentless approach in digging deep into every detail. Sources close to the case say his presence is enough to make even the steadiest opponent uneasy. Every word that leaves Blake's lips is now under intense scrutiny. The pressure of having no control is almost unbearable for her team. The public is watching every move with bated breath. Fans and critics alike are drawn into the drama of the deposition. Social media is buzzing with speculation about what might come next. The intense public interest adds even more pressure to an already tense situation. It feels as if the entire narrative of the case hangs on this moment. The fallout from this decision is bound to echo throughout the case. It marks a turning point where controlling the narrative becomes nearly impossible. The ruling has set the stage for a deposition that could expose deep cracks in Blake's story. Everyone in the courtroom now knows that there is no escaping the hard questions. This dramatic moment redefines the boundaries of the legal battle and leaves us all wondering what comes next. By the end of the hearing, every argument was won by Justin Baldoni. Every moment in the courtroom served as a testament to his unwavering position. The evidence stood like an unbreakable wall behind his every word. His strategy was as clear as day and left no room for doubt. Blake Lively's legal team suffered repeated losses that left them reeling. They stumbled over their own words, and saw their arguments crumble one by one. The setbacks piled up and left them desperately searching for a lifeline. Their attempts to mount a comeback were stripped away. With each failed move, they were caught in a relentless series of setbacks that drained any hope of a turnaround. One misstep led to another, and the momentum swung completely in the opposing side's favor. Every counter they raised fell flat against a rock-solid case that could not be shaken. The pressure built until their defenses were completely dismantled piece by piece. Every point they raised hit nothing but a brick wall of hard evidence. No rebuttal was strong enough to shake the unyielding foundation of the claims presented. The courtroom turned into a battleground where each word was met with swift and decisive counter. The evidence acted like a battering ram that shattered every weak defense they put forward. Then the judge delivered the final blow that changed the game entirely. With one decisive ruling, the entire future of the case was suddenly rewritten. The decision was as unexpected as it was definitive and left the room in stunned silence. It marked the end of any lingering hope for Blake Lively's side to control the narrative. He merged the two lawsuits into one single case, with no room for delay. The $250 million suit and the $400 million countersuit were locked together into one explosive battle. This merger erased any chance for a drawn-out legal war and forced an immediate confrontation. Both sides now face one massive showdown in March 2026, unless a settlement is reached before then. This decision has thrown the entire case into a new light that no one could have predicted. It has redrawn the battle lines and left little space for prolonged disputes or endless back and forth. Every party is now forced to bring every piece of evidence and every argument to the table at once. The merger has set the stage for an all-out confrontation that has the industry holding its breath. Legal insiders are saying that this move is a true game changer. They believe that merging the lawsuits consolidates all the pressure into one final, explosive bout. This strategy leaves no room for evasive tactics and demands full disclosure from both sides. It has redefined the rules of engagement in high-stakes legal battles in a way that is both bold and unprecedented. They believe it sets the stage for an explosive climax that will ultimately decide the outcome of this feud. Every detail of the upcoming showdown will be scrutinized under intense public and media focus. Every word spoken and every reaction observed will be analyzed to the smallest detail. The anticipation is building as no one can predict how this final chapter will ultimately unfold. Every element of the upcoming confrontation is now under a microscope. Legal experts and industry insiders alike are preparing for a showdown that promises to be historic. The entire narrative of this long-standing battle has been redefined by this final twist. It marks the turning point where every previously raised argument will be put to the ultimate test. Should Blake lose this battle, the fallout would be enormous for her financially and professionally. It is being suggested that the damage is not limited to one area, but could wipe out everything she has built over the years. Insiders are saying that a loss could bring a financial hit so devastating it might cause irreparable harm. The weight of a loss could be felt for years in the form of shattered credibility and lost opportunities. The $400 million counterclaim stands higher than the combined net worth of Blake and Ryan Reynolds. This staggering figure is a warning sign that even a minor misstep in court could send shockwaves through their financial stability. There is talk that such a financial blow could affect not only their personal wealth, but also their ability to secure future projects. The potential for serious harm to their family has become a major concern among those watching closely. Hollywood may forgive personal scandals, but financial disasters are a whole new ball game. The entertainment industry is quick to move on from scandals, yet when money is at stake, it can kill a career in an instant. Sources close to the matter say that the risk of financial ruin is something no one in Hollywood can take lightly. Every industry insider is watching as the possibility of a monetary collapse looms large over their future. If Blake is found guilty of defamation and extortion, the consequences could be catastrophic for her reputation. Experts imply that a guilty verdict may lead to a loss of credibility that might never be restored. The potential fallout includes struggling to find work in Hollywood and losing the trust of key industry players. There is concern that brands and endorsements could quietly drop her her in favor of more reliable figures in the public eye. There is no clear path back if she is unable to rebuild her career after such a blow. Critics are saying that once trust is lost, it becomes incredibly hard to win it back in the competitive world of Hollywood. The fallout could extend beyond her career into personal relationships and future projects that hang in the balance. The looming threat of a complete professional and financial collapse has everyone in the industry watching with bated breath. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is gaining momentum as his legal victories continue one after the other. Every win in court seems to further cement his position and increase his control over the public narrative. He is seen as a rising force in this high-stakes legal drama, and every move he makes adds to his growing influence. Some experts say that as he continues to win legal battles, his grip on public perception grows even stronger. The contrast between the two sides grows starker with every new development in the case. While Baldoni is portrayed as seizing control, the potential fallout for Blake and Ryan Reynolds becomes even more ominous. There is an air of anticipation in the industry as everyone wonders if this final showdown will deliver a massive reversal for her. The stakes could not be higher, and every move is now under intense scrutiny, with repercussions that could be felt for a lifetime. Blake Lively is in deep trouble. She has lost every major courtroom battle so far. Every attempt she has made to defend her position has crumbled under pressure. The scales of justice have clearly tipped against her in every argument. Each courtroom setback deepens the risk of an irreversible downfall. Justin Baldoni stands in stark contrast. He dominates both the courtroom and the public eye. Every move he makes is precise, and every statement lands like a thunderbolt. He controls the media narrative with an iron grip and leaves no room for doubt. His continuous victories add fuel to his rising influence in this legal war. If this trend keeps going, Blake faces a future where her career might never recover. The potential fallout is not just about public opinion, but could shatter her financial stability. Every misstep in court is another brick in the wall of a career collapse that may be impossible to reverse. The stakes are sky high, and every decision now could prove fatal for her legacy. Unless she chooses to settle or withdraw, Blake risks one of the biggest Hollywood downfalls in recent history. This decision could mark a turning point that permanently erodes her credibility. The pressure builds with each court session, and every media headline adds to her burden. Every move is under intense scrutiny, and one wrong step could trigger a domino effect of losses. The drama is far from over. As the trial approaches in March 2026, the stakes will only get higher. Each new twist in this legal battle promises more explosive revelations. The courtroom is set for a showdown where every word and every gesture counts. The intensity of this fight is capturing every eye in the industry and beyond. This legal war is escalating quickly. There are likely more explosive twists ahead. The story unfolds like a high-stakes chess match, where one wrong move could end it all. Will Blake muster the strength to fight back? Or will she finally back down under pressure? For now, Justin Baldoni is winning both in court and in the court of public opinion. Stay tuned for every twist and turn in this epic battle. Join the conversation and let your voice be heard. Share your thoughts and opinions as we watch this drama unfold and see who really has the upper hand.